Your thoughts on the markets trade as we start out the week? It seems that the sentiment is obviously skewed to the downside, with markets very skeptical as to whether the EU summit will deliver any goods this time around.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a lot of data coming out from across the board. The main focus around what's going to be coming out in Europe, as well as a host of data from the US. GDP, we've got non-farm payrolls, we've got ADP employment numbers, so a lot coming out this week.
And a lot to keep the markets on edge, of course, ahead of that. So how do you expect the markets to trade? Because, of course, we've seen the markets fall back for 3 days in a row right now. So do you think this downside momentum is going to persist as we head towards that EU summit and that non-farm payrolls data on Friday?
Yeah, you could possibly see it. I mean, if you take a cue from what happened last month with the non-farm payrolls data, market came off quite aggressively towards the data. When it came out with a very bad number last month, we saw an instant reaction in the gold price, which shot up about $50, pricing in possible further monetary action. And then we started seeing the markets to stabilize a bit. So you could see similar price action, but with what's coming out in Europe on Thursday, no one knows. Very, very binary at the moment.
What are your views on financials right now? Because Moody's, of course, downgrading, I think it was around 15 financial banks around the globe on Friday, and that hit sentiment around the banking sector. I don't know how much weight you attach to Moody's downgrades and upgrades, but of course the banking sector here in South Africa has been one that has been somewhat of an outperformer. Do you have any money invested in banks right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the rating agencies have got it long for a very long time now, so you can't really take too much weight in terms of what they say. Obviously, where there's smoke, there's fire. Without financials, I mean, they're trading very, very high at very high levels at the moment. So, I think they're very overpriced currently.
Which financials specifically are you saying looking a little bit lofty?
Yeah, the likes of Nedbank, close to 180. Massively overpriced, I feel. I don't think their growth in earnings are going to be as great going forward. Where they are growing is in unsecured lending markets, which aren't very, which comes with a lot of risk.
And you think the market's just not buying the fact that you've got such strong growth coming through in unsecured lending and that it is sustainable? Because if you're talking to the CEO of African Bank, they'll say that they've got strong risk strategies in place with regards to assessing the type of client that they allow to take an unsecured loan.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I hope that's for their case. The thing is, when interest rates are as low as they are, people don't really feel the pinch. But when interest rate cycles do start to move higher, that all of a sudden brings another dynamic. Can people afford to support those unsecured debt that they've got?
Yeah, but that of course would mean that interest rates would have to move higher, and then he's saying that interest rate outlook for now is very much on hold and very much going to move in tandem with the US outlook for interest rates, which they're saying is going to stay on hold until 2014.
Yeah, exactly. So when it does go higher, you could feel that those consumers might come under a bit of pressure.
Still some time away though. MTN, yeah. 140 Rand today, up 2% on the day. Do you think we're going to see some more strength in the stock as the week progresses?
Yeah, I'd like to see where it goes from on a trading perspective. We've made a new high, so let's wait and see what happens. I prefer the likes of Vodacom, to be very honest with you. I mean, they've come off quite a bit, haven't recovered the dividend that they paid last week of R4.50. Is a bit of bad press around them, but I prefer certainly at this stage to be picking up the likes of Vodacom opposed to MTN.
You mentioned dividend, Coronation Fund managers becoming a key shareholder in MMI today, and many saying that as a result of the strong dividend MMI has. What's your thought on that deal? I think 10%, just above 10% is the stake that Coronation will now have in MMI.
Yeah, I mean, MMI looking at about a 6% yield. I had a look for a while. They have been, buying up MMI shares for a while, so it's not a new thing that they've just, got this a bigger portion. So I think over time, picking up a good stock like that, I like the sector, so I think it's a good play on their side. And
of course, they've been going through this whole restructuring process. We're still going to see that coming to the fore in terms of cost savings. Would you buy the MMI story in terms of the insurance company that emerges out of the restructuring process?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm one for a good yield in stock, and MMI is certainly one of them that has caught my eye.
Is yield one of those issues that you place as a key priority right now? When I talk about yield, I mean a dividend. Are you very focused on choosing stocks right now that are good dividend payers in light of uncertainty?
Yeah, certain sectors, looking at stocks which have paid good dividends over time is definitely one thing that attracts us to picking up stocks at the moment.
Of the stocks that are in the market right now, any ones that particularly are strong dividend payers and ones that are good bets if you're looking at that dividend?
Yeah, I think, we were quite big buyers of Vodacom before the
As
dividend.
You said,
yeah, but for the meantime, I think that was probably the best one. But, it's time to maybe look at MMI if it hasn't run a bit too far at current levels.
Well, there we go. 2 stocks to look at. Thank you so much for joining us today. Oliver Russell, a shares trader from a Global Trader.